Well, I hope this climb is worth it. And it's little gullies like this I like, because the tide will flood in over this mixed ground, or on the ebb obviously it's coming out of here, so the fish have to funnel out of these gullies if the fish are actually here in the first place. What have we got down here? We got a knife. I think it's just a knife, obviously someone's dropped that's been foraging for something, maybe getting limpets off. Looks like it's been here a while, doesn't it? What I've got here is some frozen razor that I needed to use up. I've got a 3-hook flapper. I'm just going to put this out and then we'll go foraging, looking for some prawns. And I've actually I've just dug a lugworm. What I did was you can draw a line between the hole, the breathing hole, and the casts, basically the bits of sand the worm poos out. And I dug down with my hand because I didn't have a spade. So you can actually do this, and I believe it or not, I found the worm just by using my hand. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend doing it like that. It's hardly very professional, but okay, let's have a look in here. Well, that's a prawn, and so okay, yeah. So we've got prawns in there. We've also got little flatfish. I'm not quite sure what that one is. Maybe a flounder. I don't know. Small. We don't need it. There's shrimps in there as well, and then that one there is a shrimp. See there, that's a prawn. You see, and they're very different. The prawn are the best bait, really. There is a difference between the two. The prawns are obviously, you can see, almost translucent. Much better hook bait. You can see here where you've got two little tidal systems meet on this sand reef. I want to try and get that as the tide moves over it. So a butterfly net would be quite handy here. If you have a look around, you can see that there's little ledges and little rock pools, and these ledges sort of run parallel to the beach. So what I'm looking for is some sort of rocky overhang. In fact down there is probably the best spot to have a go. And then the idea is I actually just turn this net in and then scrape up the side of the rock. But as I say, the butterfly nets are a little bit better for this sort of prawn catching, whereas these large shrimp nets tend to get you shrimps across the sand and mud. But we'll have a little wander. In fact, I've just seen this is quite a good little rock here. Oh, let's have a look under here. Right, let's have a look under here. We've got a little crab trying to hide from us. Lots of little green crabs here. I think those are little shore crabs, not the swimmer ones. But and what I tend to do with this net is, if you draw it right up to a structure and under the weed, you're much more likely to get the prawns. Not too good. There were some prawns in there. So what I'm going to use is, because I found these prawns, I'm going to use this circle hook, and I'm just going to put in put bunches of prawns and shrimp on there. Normally you'd float fish with a single hook, a single prawn, but we're going to leave the lug that we found on the bottom hook, and then taking these prawns and shrimps there, see we've got both, we're going to put that onto the circle hook, and some will come off when we cast, but there should be sort of 2 or 3 on there, hopefully for a bass or maybe a smooth hound. They've got these circle hooks on, which makes it a little bit easier to unhook. This will be tough. This is good. There's something on here. Come on. Yeah, it's got a bit of a kick to it. It's only a little smooth hound, but they love those little circle hooks. Keeps coming back in. Wrong way, mate, wrong way. Spat out a load of prawns there. So I've got a single hook on the multiplier rod, and then the 3-hook flapper on that one, and all I've done is really just cram the prawns and shrimps right onto the circle hooks. It's a circle hook on this one, and I've just cast that one out. I don't know if you can see out in the distance, just to the left of the red rod, there's a big fat seal just sitting there. So I've obviously picked the right place to fish, because it looks like that's what he's doing. Yeah, so on the, I don't know if you can see, I've basically got these rods quite high here just to keep the line over that little reef. Well, thanks very much for watching. Again, the fishing's not been marvellous, but I'm just pleased I've got a fish, to be honest. I know smooth hounds can run a lot bigger, so I might come back and see what else there is. And we'll be into the bass on the lures, so this is probably the last of the bottom fishing for a while. I hope you join me and get off some remote locations for the bass.